What's up, everyone? So I want to make a quick video where I talk about the inevitable future of beat selling slash sample pack selling. Now, obviously this video is highly speculative and I could be completely wrong, but I'm putting the idea out there so at least you have it to think about. So let's get right to it. What is the problem? So this is the sequence of events of how things currently work. Sample pack maker makes a sample pack. They sell it for cheap. Producer buys it, producer makes beat, then they sell the beat for cheap, $30, $50 licenses. Up and coming artist needs affordable music. They purchase the affordable beat. They record to it, they upload it on all the DSPs, and unknowingly, or maybe knowingly, they claim copyright and ownership over everything, the beat and subsequently the sample as well. So what happens is when someone else buys the sample, when another producer buys that sample, and they want to upload the beat that they made on YouTube, they get hit with a copyright claim. When another artist buys that same beat and they want to upload it, now they get hit with a copyright claim. Or when they buy any beat with that sample, they might get hit with a copyright claim because now this artist has unknowingly perhaps claim ownership over all this intellectual property that isn't theirs. So what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that the producers and the sample pack makers aren't making as much money as they can, right? Because now someone else is claiming ownership over their stuff. And granted, there are ways that they can protect themselves to make sure that this doesn't happen, or to limit how much this happens. There are ways that they can protect themselves, and there are also ways that they can fight this stuff, but it is very time consuming. And who wants to, like, a creative only wants to create. They don't want to have to deal with all this legality stuff. So here are my two solutions. Solution number one is very utopian, but I say if we can utilize the power of blockchain technology, use smart contracts, if eventually smart contracts can get to the point and where they have the capacity to automatically kind of automate this whole process, right? Where they can evenly distribute the splits between sample pack maker, producer, artist. It can monitor, if the smart contract could monitor the streams and the DSPs and just divvy up the money automatically, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But it would require a major company like a BeatStar to fund this project, because you have to pay coders, programmers, etc., etc. So do I think this is the future of beat selling? Yes, but I don't know if we have the capacity, the technology to do this, or whether a company like a BeatStars would be down to do something like that. So that's number one, my first solution. Technology, blockchain, because it's transparent, automation, boom, 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 decentralized. Next solution, if the sample pack maker and the producer just raises their prices, what this does is it gives a certain level of exclusivity to their music, and they can track things a little bit easier, monitor things a little bit better. They don't have to lease it to as many people, so they're not going to have to deal with as many copyright things, hopefully. So why don't producers and sample pack makers just up the price? Well, mainly it's just like it's a business thing, right? It's already a proven method that they can make a good amount of money licensing through affordable licenses. It's already a proven method. The thing is that's ironic is that a lot of these sample pack makers and producers, they know how much money a sample pack or a beat will make in its lifetime. A lot of the top tier producers are making a lot of money through their beats, right? Through any singular beat, they could be making between $7,000 to $50,000 per beat. And the issue is, like, even though they know how much a singular beat could potentially cost, or how much they could make in the lifetime of that particular beat, I understand that they might not want to take the time to wait for a buyer that will give them $15,000-$20,000 for a beat, because that's a much more limited market, et cetera, et cetera. So I get it. Like from a business perspective, it might be easier to just sell $30-$50 licenses and throughout the span of a year make your $15,000 or $20,000 on that beat, as opposed to hoping that you get a potential buyer, a singular buyer that can pay the $20,000 license. And so I get that. And I guess my rebuttal to that is, we need to be, I guess we could be creative with the way we license our intellectual property. There's no rules to this. Like I conduct music, I compose music, I make beats, and I see composers all the time. They're very creative with how they license their music. Sometimes they'll do like exclusivity for a certain amount of time. They'll do exclusivity, a regional exclusivity. There's so many different ways to approach this. Now, I know like with beat making, it's a little bit harder. Maybe it's a little bit harder to control, but I guess my point being is like, we can come up with a creative ways to license our music at higher prices to kind of get better control or a better control as to who's recording our music and how they're, and making sure that they're not claiming ownership over intellectual property that's not theirs. So that's one thing about raising the price of beats that I feel like would be a good solution. Now, do I think any of this is going to happen? Probably not. People have been saying to raise the price on beats forever. It's too big of a business at this point. Do I think it's a problem? Yeah, because it makes online beat selling sort of sketchy. A lot of gray areas are involved. It's very kind of iffy, right? And at some point, we need to, like, I remember the beginnings of online beat selling, and at some point we need to graduate and kind of come to the realization that, online beat selling is a big business. It's a relatively big business, and we need to start operating like legitimate businesses, as opposed to coming across as, which a lot of people are, but just the optics of it, of what we do, sometimes it comes across as like I said, scam. Let's just be honest. Sometimes it comes across as a scam. And we're at a point with beat selling where we have so many different ways to make money. I mean, music consumption is at an all-time high. There's more content creators that need music more than ever. We can come up with different ways to make money. And this isn't just theoretically speaking. I've seen quite a few music producers who are like, you know what? I'm not licensing music anymore. It's not worth the hassle. I'm going to make my money on Spotify, YouTube, TV licensing, YouTube licensing, and that's it. And content creation, and that's it. And I've literally, like, there's just one producer I've literally seen at the bottom of his YouTube videos where he says, do not contact me for buying a beat unless you have a budget of X amount of money, right? And I just think that's such a great idea. It's very like admirable. He has like his bottom dollar there, and he's very transparent. And I think like that's like a better way of doing business. It makes you, I mean, just the optics of it, it makes you look better. So yeah, this is just my video. I feel like there's a major lawsuit waiting to happen with the way that we do things. This video was inspired by a Instagram post of DJ Pain One where he talks about this thing, but it just really kills me to see so many talented producers and sample pack makers having to like struggle to fight over their intellectual property. Like, that's ridiculous. That's really kind of like the sentiment behind this video. I want to see an end. I want to see it. I want to see producers getting their music not stolen from them. And I want us to get to a point where producers are empowered and doing business from a place of authority, because really, like, we're the ones that run this whole thing. Without the beats, without the sample packs, without, there is no singers, there is no background music on YouTube. We should be doing business from a point of authority. And it really kills me when, like, we're struggling and having to fight copyright infringement things over things that belong to us. We're having to argue with artists that don't understand certain things. It's just really heartbreaking. And I just want producers and sample pack makers to be able to make all the money in the world without it having to be such a struggle, because it shouldn't. Producers and sample pack makers have every right to license their product, their intellectual property, as often as they want. And we're at a point with artists and content creators where they just don't get it. So I'm over here advocating for all my producers / sample pack friends. Go get your money, do business from a place of authority, and let's get to this. Peace.